Hey people of the world, Red Gold Maximus here, back again for another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing last night's first ever WWE All-Women's Pay-Per-View, Evolution. Now, honestly, this was a pay-per-view that going into it I had a lot of doubts, because sometimes, I'm not trying to be sexist here, but sometimes women's wrestling is not the best. Just honestly, I've noticed that women's matches tend to have a lot of botches for some reason. I don't know why it's women's matches in particular I'm noticing a lot of botches. Maybe they're in the men's matches too and I'm just not noticing it. I don't know. But either way, I was going into this pay-per-view thinking that probably only one or two matches on this pay-per-view were actually going to be any good. And I was really delightfully surprised. So anyway, I did come up with a better name. The series is now going to be called Yay, Nay, or Okay. And as of right now, I'm going to be giving this pay-per-view in the middle because I want to wait until the very end of the review to tell you guys how I felt about it. So I'm not going to tell you which one it is yet, obviously. But anyway, because of course I want you to stick throughout the whole video for obvious reasons. Now, anyway, so let's get on to the first match. The first match was a tag team match, Lita and Trish Stratus versus Mickie James and Alicia Fox with Alexa Bliss in the corner. This was a match that was supposed to actually feature Alexa Bliss in the match. She wasn't supposed to be the manager at ringside, but plans got changed because she got a concussion and she couldn't compete in the match, but Alexa Bliss really wanted to at least be on the pay-per-view, so they let her be at ringside, but she couldn't actually compete in the match. She didn't interfere on behalf of her teammates, she didn't take any bumps of any sort. Alexa was basically a non-factor in this entire match, she was just there to be there. I was happy to see Alexa there, but I was disappointed she couldn't actually be in the match. Alicia Fox was a good substitute, in my opinion. It makes storyline sense. Alicia Fox is Alexa's buddy. She's Mickey's buddy. So it makes sense for Alicia to be the replacement. And she's a veteran as well. So, of course, I knew that she was going to be able to hold her own in this match. I wasn't expecting a whole ton of botches from Alicia Fox. Lita and Trish, on the other hand, I was pretty much expecting to kind of ruin this match. I'm not disrespecting their past or anything. I admit that Lita and Trish are two of the most influential WWE performers regardless of gender. They put on great matches as teammates and against each other. Basically, they had a good match with pretty much everybody. For the most part, they had some bad matches in the past, but that was more the fault of their opponent, so I mean, do I even have to talk about Jackie Gata? I didn't think so. So anyway, either way, I knew that they were both kind of out of their prime, no offense. So going into this match, I was kind of anxious. I was really happy they decided to kick off the pay-per-view because I knew the name value was going to get the crowd all riled up, regardless if the match was any good. Just how at Greatest Royal Rumble, or GER as I like to call it, they had John Cena and Triple H kick off the show, a match I knew was going to be terrible, probably, but it helped get the crowd into it because it was, name value involved. And that was pretty much the same case here. I didn't really think this match was all that spectacular or anything. Honestly, there was a lot of botches in this match, or a lot of slow moving. They did this one particular spot that made me cringe a lot. Trish Stratus bent down so that Lita could jump on her back, and it was supposed to be an homage to the Hardy Boys or whatever, Team Extreme. And Lita, I think, might have botched it because instead of using her legs to kick Mickie and Alicia, who were in the corner, she just kind of splashed on them, and I thought it was a little bit awkward. On the other hand, her moonsault was a lot better than it was in the Women's Royal Rumble match, so had that going for her. The Stratus faction also felt a little off to me, probably because it's not really a move I'm too familiar with, and I kind of think the move is a little weird. It's definitely a more effective looking move than the Attitude Adjustment, but still, I think it's a little silly. Just my opinion. So, either way, I think the match was okay. It was better than I thought it was going to be. There wasn't as many botches as I thought there was going to be. But it is what it is. It was pretty much a non-factor. I mean, as soon as I heard Alexa Bliss wasn't going to be in the match, I knew her team was going to lose. So, no surprise, Trish and Lita picked up the victory. And I'm happy that they got their moment at an important pay-per-view like Evolution. And clearly the crowd were into it throughout, which definitely made the match better than it would have been if it was awkwardly silent. So I'm going to give that first match a thumbs up. I think it was a good match through and through. Just so you know, I am planning on structuring videos like this where I'm going to give a match a thumbs up or a thumbs down, just because I think it's easier than rating things like on A to F grading scale. I think it's easier to just give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and then I can explain why I liked it or didn't like it. You know, things like that. I think it would just be easier. So next up we have the Battle Royal, which for some reason a lot of people were not looking forward to watching. I know that Battle Royals aren't everybody's cup of tea, but people are saying things like, oh, this match is non-consequential, like nothing is going to come of this match. It's like, you do know that the winner gets a women's title opportunity of their choosing, right? It's like a mini Royal Rumble. It's kind of important, you know? So, and it had all these legends set to appear, and I was like, why are more people not paying attention to this match? Why is everybody saying it's going to be terrible? Either way, I didn't think this match was any bad. I didn't think it was bad at all. For the most part, it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Alundra Blaze was, of course, a little slow. I was expecting her to be slow. She was the oldest participant in the match. And I'm not too familiar with her, honestly. I haven't seen any of her matches. And I kind of just know the basics. Like, she was a star in WWE, then she went to WCW and threw away the title literally in the garbage and became Medusa. She didn't really have a successful run in WCW. Then she didn't come back into WWE until a couple years ago. And she's just been in all the games since then. That's pretty much all I know about Alundra Blaze. I don't know a thing about her matches. Apologies about that to Alundra Blaze fans and to Alundra Blaze herself. I'm sure she's wonderful in the ring. But she wasn't really, I wasn't expecting too much from her, and sure enough, she was one of the first people out, which was about what I was expecting. And I do like how in the beginning the Iconics are coming out and they're giving, you know, New York a bunch of shit because the last time they were at major pay-per-view was in their home country at Super Showdown, and now they're at, like, New York. I can understand they want the heel heat, the foreign heel heat, and it worked, and they did this really funny part in the beginning where everybody just teamed up on the Iconics to eliminate them, which was pretty much expected. I think everybody was expecting that. And then there was this really cool moment in the match where all the legends get surrounded by all the newer women, which I think is great. I thought that was awesome. So I hope that... Wait, what am I saying? I have brain fart. Either way, I thought that was a cool moment in the match. And the rest of the match was actually pretty solid. A lot of the legends did a lot better in the match than I thought they were going to. A pet peeve I do have is I think Molly Holly was eliminated too quickly. She showed in the Women's Royal Rumble match that she's still quite athletic. She did the jumping move off the ropes. That's like a half 450 splash. I don't know what that move is called. She did that in the Women's Royal Rumble, and I was a little disappointed they didn't utilize her better in the Battle Royal. But it is what it is. She still looked good in the match. As did Michelle McCool, actually. Michelle McCool looked really good in this match. The commentators actually said that it looks like Michelle could come back to WWE at any time, which is definitely true. Same with Tori Wilson. Tori Wilson is very, 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 very fit. So I honestly think Tori Wilson looked really good in the match, which I was happy about. I don't want anybody looking bad in a match. So, yeah. Now, on to the ending of the match, because basically everything else in between was your standard Battle Royal stuff. The Legends did really good, as I mentioned. Ivory, in particular, looked really good in this match. But the ending really disappointed me. Like, really, really disappointed me. When Zelina Vega almost eliminated Nia Jax, I almost thought Zelina Vega was actually going to win, which would have been great, actually, I think, because imagine, like, how Zelina Vega and Andrade Cien Almas could, like, become a power couple. They're not really a couple, but you know what I mean. That could become, like, a dominating duo on SmackDown. That's what it was going through my head as I was watching it. But then Nia didn't get eliminated. I knew that she was going to get eliminated. Zelina Vega, I knew was going to get eliminated. And sure enough, she was. She may or may not have accidentally injured Tamina when she threw her on top of her. I heard that Tamina might have injured her leg. I really hope not, because Tamina literally just came back to the ring in this match, and she looked great. I'm not a huge fan of her attire. I think her attire looks like crap, honestly. The baggy outfit. Like, if she gained weight, then I hope that WWE isn't shaming her for gaining weight or something like that, because that would be hypocritical considering what they were doing with Nia Jax earlier this year. Um, Either way, Tamina was made to look really strong, and her and Nia Jax's showdown legitimately intrigued me, and it made me kind of want to see them actually face each other in a match. So that's another dream match that may or may not have happened. I don't know. I kind of went through a period where I wasn't watching WWE, so... And I still don't really watch it that much, actually. I kind of watch it. I mostly keep up with stuff online and then just watch the pay-per-views, because right now I am very much New Japan. Like, very, very much. Bullet Club for life, if you know what I mean. So, anyway, getting back to the match, I was really disappointed to see Asuka get eliminated. I do think it was cool to see Ember Moon be the one to do it, because it was like she was getting redemption, and she was actually saying like, yes, finally I did it, or something like that in the match, which I thought was a nice touch. Because it reminded me in the Women's Royal Rumble how like Asuka was mocking Ember Moon because her arm was injured by Shayna Baszler. She was like mocking her injured arm. And they had a big feud in NXT, so seeing that all kind of culminate here was cool. I was really disappointed that Ember didn't win after that. I really don't think Nia Jax should have won. I was really mad, like legitimately angry to see Nia Jax win this, because she's already held the women's title. I was really hoping this match could be used to propel a new star. Like, I was really hoping that Asuka or Ember was going to win this, and I was really, really disappointed they gave the win to Nia Jax. And it seems like the crowd was really happy. I guess the crowd, they really wanted Nia to win. And, man, as soon as I saw The Rock's mom in the crowd, I was just like, oh, if I knew she was in the crowd, I would have guessed Nia Jax would win immediately. Because they wouldn't have Nia Jax lose in front of The Rock's mom. Because Nia Jax is The Rock's cousin. They wouldn't do that. So if I knew she was in the crowd, I would have picked Nia immediately. It doesn't change the fact that I'm really mad that Nia Jax won. I think she should have lost. I think Ember should have won this. And now Nia's going to face Ronda Rousey again. They had a good match last time, but I really was hoping Ronda would do something different. Just honestly, I think a match between Ronda and Ember would have been a lot more cool. But anyway, moving on. I could better stop griping. I'm sorry for griping. So then we moved on to the 6-woman tag team match. It was the Riot Squad against Natalya, Sasha Banks, and Bayley. I forgot. In the last match, I'm going to give that a thumbs down, because while the match quality itself was great, the winner really spoiled everything that was good about the match for me, so I'm giving it a down. So now we can move on to the 6-woman tag. The Riot Squad versus Natalya, Sasha, and Bayley. And going into this match, I did not care at all. Like, at all. I could not care less about who won this match. But boy, oh boy, they proved me wrong. This match was really, really good. It was definitely the best match of the first 3, for sure. I really, really enjoyed this match. The fast-paced action, the cooperative teamwork between the two trios was amazing. Like, truly amazing. Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan in particular were really good at teaming up on like Sasha and Bayley throughout the match. They did a really good job looking like a cohesive unit. And Ruby Riott did as well. Side note, I thought it was really cool how the Riot Squad members came out in Halloween costumes. You know, I thought that was really neat. And anyway, I thought the match quality was amazing, and I love how they did like that trifecta move kind of thing at the very end. How like Natalya did a move off the top rope, and then Bayley did the Macho Man elbow, and then Sasha did the frog splash like Eddie Guerrero, and that was how they won. I thought that was a really, really neat way to win. So I was really happy with the match. Some people are giving it crap. I don't think it deserves crap. I think it was a great match. I really do think it was one of the best gender regardless, 6-person tag matches I've seen in a long time. Besides the Shield versus Dogs of War at Super Showdown. So this was a great match. Now I was truly getting into the event. This match totally made me forget about how mad I was at Nia Jax for winning the Battle Royal. So I was just really happy with that victory. Or just with the match in general. But I was also happy that that Bayley and Sasha Banks are actually winning matches on pay-per-view that are made to feel important just by the match quality alone. I believe the next match... why do I keep forgetting? I'm giving that match a thumbs up, clearly. So now I can move on. So the next match on the card, if my memory serves me correctly, the next match on the card was the Mae Young Classic finale. I didn't actually see the rest of the Mae Young Classic, but the promo package did kind of, help me keep up. I did hear about the Tegan Nox injury. I don't think there was a wrestling fan in the world that didn't hear about the Tegan Nox incident. Her injury was sad. I actually watched the video myself, and it made me really upset. It made me so sad to see that poor girl so hurt and trying so hard to keep going in the match. And apparently Tegan Nox was actually supposed to make it to the finals. And then Io Shirai ended up actually replacing her. Io Shirai ended up replacing her against Toni Storm in this match. So I kind of knew Toni Storm was going to win. Everything made sense because, Toni Storm, they probably wanted Toni Storm to win to help legitimize the NXT UK brand. And Io Shirai was literally added in last minute, which is never a good sign. Because Alicia Fox was added in last minute and her team lost just earlier on the pay-per-view. So I knew that Io Shirai was going to lose, and sure enough she did. But the match was great. A lot of people are griping that the match was only 10 minutes long. I honestly think the match served really good despite being so short, and considering the other matches we had on the card, I think it makes sense this match was as short as it was. And I really enjoyed it. I think this match was amazing considering the time length of the match that they were given. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Toni Storm is going to do on NXT UK with this win. I'm really happy that she won. I think she's going to take the WWE into new directions, and I think Io Shirai is going to do so as well on NXT despite her loss. And it was great to see Triple H actually make it there. I wasn't sure if Triple H was going to be there or not. I wasn't even sure if there was going to be any male superstars on this show. I didn't think there was going to be any, so seeing Triple H there was like a bit of it was like fresh air almost. To see a male wrestler there, even if he's more of a corporate figure, but you know what I mean. So anyway, so then that match, I believe, if my memory serves me right, was followed up by the NXT Women's Championship match, which, once again, I have not been watching NXT a whole lot lately. I've been keeping up with it, kind of, but that's pretty much it. I don't really know what's going on with NXT, but I did see their encounter at NXT TakeOver New Orleans, and I saw their match at TakeOver Brooklyn 4, so I knew that this match was going to be good, and sure enough, it was. I really enjoyed this match, and I really think that the psychology of the match was on point. Shayna Baszler legitimately seemed threatening throughout the entire thing, like she always does. And despite going in as a champion, Kairi Sane played the babyface very well. And I really do think they put on a great show. Now, some people are going to gripe about the ending, where Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke interfered to help Shayna win. In all fairness, they gave a good reason because basically what happened is Kairi sent Shayna into her friends over the barricade. So I think it made sense. When I get hit, I get mad, and I want to hit that person. I don't care if it was on accident. So I think it made sense for them to interfere. And not to mention, I think that this is going to be great because it gives them a good reason to get into NXT, and then one of them can betray the other later and make themselves out to be the next star. So I think this is a good storyline to go with, and I think Shayna's victory was nice and unexpected. It was good to see an unexpected victory at this pay-per-view. Because while Nia Jax's victory might have been shocking to me, overall it probably was kind of obvious. So finally a match that ended with an unobvious victor. So I was really happy with the match, and I'm going to give it a thumbs up. Alright, so the next match on the card was the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, the first ever last woman standing match in WWE history. And this match really, really delivered. If there's one thing I can say about their rivalry, it's that they deliver really well in their promos and SmackDown-based segments. but their matches are really under-delivered so far until Evolution. Evolution kicked ass. Their match was amazing. It was really, really amazing. I could not believe how damn good this match was. I really thought this match was going to be like full of botches and cringy moments. And honestly, there was only one cringy moment in this entire match for me, and that was when Charlotte did the moonsault off the top and Becky didn't go through the table. And she had to do it again. That was really cringe. And I was like praying. I was like, please let the table actually break. I was getting flashbacks of the first ever Women's Hell in a Cell where Charlotte kept tossing Sasha on the table and it wasn't breaking and it was really awkward. And I was like, please let the table break. And of course it didn't break. So I was just like, no. And then she did the move again. It broke. She did a swanton, which was unexpected. I've never seen her do a swanton. And the table did break, which was great. Thank God the table broke the second time. If it didn't break again, that just would have been the ultimate cringe. And there was just plenty of great spots in this match. Besides that table spot, there was another table spot where like Becky jumps off a ladder and puts Charlotte through the announce table. I was so worried the announce table wasn't going to break. And then the match ends with Becky tossing Charlotte through the table with a powerbomb, and then she couldn't get up. And it was amazing. Whew. There was this moment in the match where they were literally throwing chairs like at each other, like from opposite sides of the ring. This match was amazing. One gripe I think I have with this match is that they are trying to make Becky look like the bad guy. Like, they even made her try to look like a cowardly heel by having her, like trying to beg for mercy from Charlotte at one point. And I was just like, no, don't have her do that. You know, but besides that, the match was amazing, and Becky retained, which I'm very, very happy about. I was really worried they're going to have Charlotte win it back. I'm really happy that she lost, and I really do think this is the end of the rivalry. I've been talking a long time. I really hope that Charlotte does not get another chance. I really want Becky to just have her moment and feud with somebody different. I don't want Charlotte in the title picture anymore, and I think that if they play their cards right, then there's no reason why Asuka cannot become Becky's next challenger. Please rebuild up Asuka as a credible challenger for the SmackDown Women's title, and I will love you forever, SmackDown. So I'm going to give that match a thumbs up. See, I remember this time. And finally, we moved on to the 7th and final match of the night, which was the Raw Women's title match between Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella. This match was about what I expected. I didn't expect anything miraculous to happen, except maybe the 4 Horsewomen interfering. The UFC 4 Horsewomen, not the WWE 4 Horsewomen. I was really expecting them to interfere to help even the odds against Brie Bella. I was a little disappointed that they didn't do that, because it would have made it more interesting to me. But the match itself was really delivered. Nikki Bella actually looked credible in this match, which was really surprising. And Ronda was actually made to look like the underdog, even though she's clearly the dominator going through this match. I like the way they actually position her as the underdog by pointing out that she's not as experienced in the ring as some of the people she's been in there with. Like, Nikki Bella has been in WWE a long time. It makes sense that she would control most of the match. And ultimately, I really do think that this match was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And Ronda continues her streak of getting really good matches out of pretty piss-poor opponents, to say the least. So this match was great. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I'm happy that Ronda retained. Because if Nikki won, I would have died. Seriously, if Nikki won, I would have lost my shit. So the match was just amazing. I was really happy. And then the pay-per-view ultimately ended with all the women standing together on the stage. Well, most of the women. Not all of them were there. Like, Charlotte was there, which I wasn't surprised about. But if Becky was there, that would have been weird to see them standing on the stage together, because the storyline. Anyway, it was a good send-off, and I was really happy with this pay-per-view. The matches, for the most part, were really solid. The historical significance was pointed out regularly, and it never felt forced to me, except in maybe the video packages in between matches. But what can you do? Some people probably love the video packages, so I don't really want to criticize it too much. And as I mentioned, almost all the matches were solid. Lots of new programs can start from here. You know, we have new stars being built up after the Mae Young Classic, you know, final. We got a new NXT Women's title storyline to work with. We have Becky Lynch finally being done with Charlotte, hopefully. We have Ronda finally being done with Nikki, hopefully. We have Nia getting back into the title picture, which I'm still a little iffy about, but I think could possibly work if Ronda can carry her to another good match like she did at Money in the Bank. Then I won't gripe if that's the case again. And the Legends were made to look honestly really good. And I was just really happy with this pay-per-view. There were some points during matches where it was kind of obvious that they were telling each other moves before they did it, which was annoying, by the way, but it wasn't enough to ruin anything for me. So honestly, I'm going to give this pay-per-view a yay. Ultimate thumbs up. This pay-per-view was a yay from me. It was absolutely amazing. It definitely made up for the